Hello everyone, my name's Tomco and today I'm showing you how to make a 4x4 flush trapdoor. So with the flick of a switch, our trapdoor opens. For those of you who thought it was here, get wrecked. Anyways, we can watch that again, so we can close it up like so, we can open it up like so, and then we can jump in. Now normally, you'd hide something valuable down here, but I am way too lazy for that, so just use your imagination. Anyways, the best thing about all this is just how simple it is to build. And it's also really small. Like, I'm fairly sure this is as small as it can possibly get. And if I literally walk around it, you can see it's pretty much all redstone dust. Like, there's nothing to it at all. Anyways, I think it's time for me to show you how to make this. Alright, so you're going to need a 10 by 8 block long area. And you're also going to need 3 blocks of gap between your floor and the bottom of your gap. Now bear in mind, these 16 iron blocks here, this is going to be the top of your trapdoor. So these blocks over here, exactly the same as these 16 blocks over here. So just use these and this to help you line up your door so you don't build it in the wrong place, because I will laugh at you. Also, this is everything you're going to need to make it. Bear in mind the 16 glazed terracotta blocks, they are going to be purely decorational. So they can be any block that doesn't stick to slime. So even obsidian, which is probably the easiest, or shulker boxes, which I believe look the best. Once you got all this, we can start. Alright, so the very first thing we're going to be doing is the piston layout. And to do that, I'm literally just going to get rid of the majority of this. Just going to keep the back wall here just so we can line it up properly. Then you want to come with block under, 2 blocks to the right, block under, 2 blocks to the right, just like that. So we kind of made a giant mumbo mustache in the middle. Now under these 2 blocks over here, you're going to place in 4 honey blocks like so, with another 4 slime blocks just next to it. And you want to repeat the same thing on the other side, just in the reverse order. So 4 slime blocks, 4 honey blocks. We can then temporarily remove our mumbo contraption thing which we made. And then you want to come to the left, or it doesn't really matter, 2 blocks out here, row temporary blocks. Then you're going to place sticky pistons facing into the slime or honey, just like that, destroying this row of temporary blocks. Repeat the exact same thing but on this side. 2 blocks out, row temporary blocks, sticky pistons coming into these blocks and destroy them. Now these are going to be the things that actually double extends our trapdoor thing into the middle. So you can see them over here. So that row piston is going to be doing this. So as you see, it retracts to pull it in and it extends to push it out. And then to our final little bit of just pushing the entire thing upwards, sticky piston under here, sticky piston under here, both of which should be facing upwards by the way, not sideways. And the same thing on this side, so upwards and upwards. And this does the last little bit of pushing it up, which is what these things do over here. You can now place in your actual door blocks just on top of all of these like this. And the same thing on the side. If you want to make it hidden, obviously use the same blocks as your floor. And then since I don't have my floor, you actually want to build in a floor. So make sure that every single one of your door blocks has another block on top of it. Otherwise it will not work. For example, over here, I just have a layer of glass over here. And obviously over here I have the entire floor covering it. But make sure you have something on top of every single one of these blocks, otherwise it will break. I promise you. You then come round to either one of the longer sides. You're going to place in 2 pieces of dust over here. Leave a gap, dust, leave a gap, dust. Do the same thing but on this side, so 2 dust, gap, dust, gap, dust. Blocks where there's gaps, with dust on top of those blocks. You're going to run redstone dust along the entire side. And do the same thing with the other side, so dust are coming along all of here. And then the exact same thing we did before, so 2 dust, gap, dust, gap, dust. Blocks in the middle, just along every single one of them. You're going to place target blocks next to every single one of these sticky pistons. Now by the way, this is why we have like blocks on the top of our door blocks. Otherwise, as soon as it turns on, these would fire, pushing everything upwards. But since we have these, it extends the piston limit, so this thing cannot extend until it gets pushed out to this block. But ignoring all of that, you're going to place repeaters coming away from this target blocks, with repeaters on top of it set to 3 ticks, with blocks in front of this repeater. Then you want to replicate this on every single one of the sides. So 3 delay repeater on top of the target block going into the slime or honey. 1 delay repeater coming away, block in front of it. Repeater, block up, 3 delays. 3 delay repeater, 1 delay repeater, block up. So it looks something like this from the top. Now you actually want to figure out where your lever is going to go, because at the moment it could either be on these two blocks, so here or here, over here, these two blocks, here or here, or these two blocks, here, and here. What on earth did I just say? Now if you're going to choose the left or the right, it doesn't really matter, but if you're going to choose on the front or the back, you want to make sure that the steps we do next are directly on top of your lever. So if that doesn't make sense, if we look over here, as you see, I've chosen to have my lever here, which means that these sticky pistons on these slabs have to be on this side. If they're on that side, it wouldn't work. So to showcase this, I'm going to choose this side as my actual lever. So you want to get your slabs out, block up like so, 2 half slabs, 2 dust. Then you want to use your remaining sticky pistons either side of this. Observers are going into the actual trapdoor. Then to place a block here. Regular piston facing down on top of this block. Well, not on top, to the side of it. Observer, nope. Observer, just on top of this piston, the block going into this sticky piston. I'll do the same thing on the other side. So block here. Piston facing downwards. Observer, just block. You then place another block, but on the opposite side. Get yourself a repeater, 3 delay repeater, half slab upwards, dust on top of that, observer also going into this block. Same thing on the other side, block, 3 delay repeater, observer, slab, dust. I'm just remove all these repeaters so I don't, not repeaters but levers, so I don't accidentally use them. And now we can actually test it. So if we flick it, it all closes, if we unflick it, it all opens. Now something I like to do as well, you don't have to, but I like to add a row of blocks under here so you don't have to see the sticky pistons. I did the same thing under here but with glass, and I did the same thing over on this side but with actual concrete blocks, so you can see it blends in much better with the wall. You then need to use a glazed terracotta or any block that doesn't stick to slime. You want to place a 2 high wall on this side and a 2 high wall on this side. This is because obviously the slime and honey will slide into it and go upwards the block, so you want to make sure that it doesn't actually stick to the wall, because that would be messy. Then obviously fill in all the gaps down here, and if you wanted to, you could expand this hole a little bit. And finally, fill it in the rest of your floor. Obviously if you're building this under the floor or already have a floor in place, you don't have to do this step, but obviously I built it in a super flat, so I need to add in the floor manually. Never thought I'd say that before. And by the way, this where your lever is, this is going to be your input block. So you can literally just link this up into anything or any redstone wire and it'll open or close your door, but for the time being, I'm just linking it up here. So as you can see, the door closes and the door opens. And voila. Anyways, that is the tutorial done. Any questions, please do let me know in the comments down below and I'll try my best to answer them. But it is all from me and I'll see you all later. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.